Barak Ramadan to one and all. This is another typical problem on the two conditions of static equilibrium. We analyze a rigid body acted upon by non-parallel coplanar forces. So just stick around, watch and learn. The problem is you open a restaurant and hope to entice customers by hanging out a sign. See figure 1. The uniform horizontal beam supporting the sign is 1.50 meters long, has a mass of 16.0 kilogram, and is hinged to the wall. The sign itself is uniform with a mass of 28.0 kilogram and overall length of 1.20 meters. The two wires supporting the sign are each 32.0 centimeters long, are 90.0 centimeters apart, and are equally spaced from the middle of the sign. The cable supporting the beam is 2.00 meters long. Question letter A. What minimum tension must your cable be able to support without having your sign come crashing down? And question letter B. What minimum vertical force must the hinge be able to support without pulling out of the wall? As shown in the figure, the uniform horizontal beam supporting the sign is 1.50 meters long and has a mass M1 equal to 16.0 kilogram and is hinged to the wall. The sign itself is uniform with a mass M2 equal to 28.0 kilogram and with an overall length of 1.20 meters. The cable supporting the beam is 2.00 meters long, and the two wires supporting the sign are each 32.0 centimeters long, and they are 0.900 meters apart. Our target variables in this problem, we have in part A, uh, the minimum tension, capital T sub 1, the cable must be able to support without having your sign come crashing down. And in part B, the minimum vertical force Fy, the hinge must be able to support without pulling out of the wall. We start our calculations by finding the weight W1 of the uniform beam. We do this by just multiplying its mass, all right, by acceleration due to gravity. That is, weight number 1 is equal to 16.0 kilogram times 9.81 meter per second squared. So we get the weight of the beam equal to 157 newtons in three significant figures, right? So take note, the line of action of weight 1 is exactly at the center of gravity of the beam. The beam is described to be uniform. So it's understood that its center of gravity is located at its geometric center. Right? The tension T1 of the cable is pulling the right end of the beam, right? Directed towards the wall, right? So this is the vector arrow that represents the tension T1. And the two wires are also supporting the sign with forces T2 and T3 respectively. So these two tensions in the wires are equal, right? And the force Fy, or the force exerted by the hinge, right, on the left end of the beam is uh, one of our target variables, right? So it's understood that the force F, right, which is directed diagonally, okay, based on our diagram here, this force F exerted by the hinge, okay, can be broken down into the vertical component, and that is Fy, as well as the horizontal component, which is directed to the right, right? But the problem is not interested in determining this force F or the x component of the force F. It's only the vertical component, okay, that we're going to calculate. The sum of T3 and T2 is in fact equal to the weight of the sign, that is 38.0 kilogram times 9.81 meter per second squared, which is 373 newtons. We also uh, emphasize that each of the tensions in the wires T2 and T3 has the same magnitude, 187 newton, or one half of 373 newtons. Likewise, we determine the angle theta formed by the cable and the horizontal beam. So this angle theta is just equal to the inverse of the cosine of the ratio 1.50 meters over 2.00 meters. 1.50 meters is the length of the beam, while 2.00 meters is the length of the cable. So with the help of your cycle, we find the angle theta equal to 41.4 degrees in three significant figures. For us to be able to determine uh, the tension T sub 1 exerted by the cable, all right, we are going to apply the second condition of static equilibrium. All right, this equation states that the vector sum of all the torques, right, that is produced by the forces acting on the horizontal beam must be equal to zero about a chosen axis of rotation. So we choose the hinge as our axis of rotation. This symbol is the Greek letter tau, which represents torque or moment of a force. All right. Um, the choice for the axis of rotation is actually arbitrary. All right. It's just a matter of convenience. So we choose the hinge as our axis of rotation. All right. So that in the equation that we're going to establish, the force Fy, okay, will not appear in the equation. It's because it's understood that the torque that is due to Fy is zero. Any force acting on the body or the beam which passes through the chosen axis of rotation will have no torque produced about that axis. And that also is true for uh, the x component of the tension T1. All right. Take note that the tension in the cable T1 has two components, the y component, all right, and the x component. So the x component of T1 also passes through the axis of rotation or the hinge, right? So it will have no torque, okay, produced. So it will not also appear in our equation, all right? So what do we have? We start with T sub 1y. T sub 1y is the y component of T1 or the tension in the cable. Its direction, of course, is vertically upward, right? And uh, T sub 1y will produce a torque, all right, about the axis chosen, which is the hinge, represented by T sub 1y times x1. X1 is what we call the lever arm or the moment arm of the torque that T sub 1y produces. All right? X sub 1 is just the distance perpendicular to the line of action of the force T sub 1y measured from the axis of rotation, of course. And that happens to be equal to the length of the horizontal beam. All right? And then you will notice that the torque produced by T sub 1y will tend to make the beam rotate counterclockwise about the axis, right? And by convention, when the torque has the tendency to make the body rotate in counterclockwise manner, we assign it as a positive torque, all right? So T sub 1y times x1 is understood to be positive here. All right, then we go to the next. The width of the beam W sub 1. All right. Its lever arm is the distance from its line of action to the axis. And that happens to be just half of the length of the beam. And the torque produced by W sub 1 tends to make the beam rotate in a clockwise manner. That's why we put here minus, right? And for the tension T2, all right, of the first wire, the direction of T2 is downward, right? Its corresponding lever arm is the distance from the axis to the line of action of T sub 2. Later, we're going to figure out this value of x3, right? And the last torque is produced by tension number uh, 3 or T sub 3, all right? Whose direction is downward. Both T2 and T3 tend to make the lever, all right, or the beam rotate clockwise. So they're both with minus signs, right? So substituting all the given quantities, we get uh, the sum of all the torques, which is equal to 0, is expressed as capital T sub 1. Right? This is the value of T sub 1, or the tension in the cable. All right? Multiplied by sine of the angle theta 41.4 degrees. This is the expression for T sub 1y, or the y component of T1. And then its lever arm, as I said earlier, is just equal to the length of the beam, 1.50 meters. Then minus that of the torque due to the weight W1. So that's minus 157 newtons times half of the length of the beam, 0.750 meters. Then, for the torque due to T sub 2, all right, the value of T sub 2 is 187 newton. Its lever arm is 0.600 meters. Why? It's because we are told in the problem that the two wires are 90 centimeters apart, or 0.900 meters. So that means the distance from the line of action of T2 to the axis of rotation is just equal to 1.50 meters, which is the length of the beam, minus 0.900 meters. So that's how we got 0.600 meters. And the last torque is due to tension T3, which happens to be also equal to 187 newtons. And its lever arm, or moment arm, is just equal to the length of the beam, 1.50 meters. All right? So this is our equation for the summation of the torques about the chosen axis of rotation, which is the hinge. So you will notice that the torque due to the x component of T1 does not appear in our equation. Okay? Neither does the torque, okay, due to Fy is also not included in our equation, because those forces produce zero torque, all right, about the hinge. When we simplify the previous equation, we get 0 equals T sub 1 times 0.992 meters minus 118 meter Newton minus 112 meter Newton minus 281 meter Newton. And isolating the tension T1, we get T1 equals 511 meter Newton divided by 0.992 meters. So we get the value of the tension T1 equal to 550 newtons in three significant figures. So this is our answer to question in part A. The minimum tension force that the cable has to exert, all right, for the beam, and therefore the sign, all right, not to fall, so that it will stay in equilibrium. And going back to our equation for the summation of the vertical forces acting on the beam, we have the summation of Fy, okay, which must also be equal to 0, all right, for the system or the beam, as well as the sign to remain at rest. Okay, we equate it to 0, and these are t sub 1y plus Fy minus W sub 1 minus T2 minus T3. So substituting, right, we get 340 point Newton, emphasizing that it has three significant figures, plus Fy, which is our unknown variable, minus W1 equal to 157 newtons, minus T2 and minus T3, right? T2 plus T3 is in fact equal to 373 newtons, right? Isolating Fy, or the vertical force that the hinge exerts on the beam, we get Fy equal to 530 point Newton minus 340 point Newton, or the value of the vertical force Fy equals 190 point Newton. Of course, in three significant figures. So this is also our final answer to question in part B. That's it. We are done. Mabuhay. Till the next episode. MashaAllah. Thank you very much for your indulgence. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Alhamdulillah.